Let's go, baby. You already know the routine. Egocentric. Let's go.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
He's at the 20.
They should stop this one.
What you got? Domination! Snot bubbles!
He throws. Complete. Touchdown. They've got him again. They've got him again. Sack Crumpler. What a throw. What a hit. What a catch.
Defense is just way too much for the count.
It's caught by Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown. He pushes. Touchdown. Jalen Hunt. Touchdown. A.J. Brown. A run. He's going to score.
It's a touchdown by Nick Foles.
The train is in the end zone. Touchdown.
Torrey Smith
In for the touchdown is Jeffrey in. Touchdown. Jalen Hurts.
Didn't I tell you about talking back in school? Didn't I tell you? Huh? I told you, didn't I? I told you, didn't I? Didn't I tell you? Come here. Go in your room and don't clean your room. Go clean your room. That's what we did to them Lions tonight. Yeah, I'm hyped. And not about the offense, because we know it's a shit show. I'm sorry, chat, about the language, but hey, it's a shit show. The only thing that was good about this game was the defense. Oh my gosh. Oh. Ooh. That defense was rocking. That defense was rocking. And I got some stats for you. I got some stats for you, chat. Egocentric. Woo, I got some stats for you, baby. Now, we're going to start it off here. The Eagles beat the Lions in a snooze fest. For the casual NFL fans, that was a snooze fest. For me, who love defense, I'm a defensive guy. When I played football in school, I was on defense first and then offense. But to the game, the Eagles beat the Lions at home 16-9 in a defensive battle, NFC battle, one of the big matchups of the year, probably the biggest game on the schedule, and the Eagles prevailed. And I told you right after we beat them, I was going to be right here to talk to you about it. And the offense is still struggling. The offense still can't move the ball down the field. A.J. Brown is getting involved a little bit, but he's still not being an impactful player for this offense. And we're targeting him too much, which is causing other receivers to not get involved. And when they do get involved in this game particularly, because this isn't a habit, this isn't something that we're used to, they weren't catching the ball. We had a couple of drop passes tonight. Oh, yeah, we had some drop passes tonight by the offense. I expect this coming from the defense because we talk about this all the time. The defense can never catch interceptions. They caught one tonight, but they could never catch interceptions. History just shows us that. Anyways, back to the offense. Total yards on offense, 272. Passing yards, 124. Rushing yards, 148. And yards per play, 3.9. That sucks. You can't do that and expect to... Now, one thing I will give the Birds, they were a little bit more efficient on offense than the Lions, whether you believe that or not. Because, look, first downs, 16. The Lions, 13. Third down efficiency, 4 out of 15. I know we sucked on third down. It was horrible. But the Lions, 3 out of 13. Yeah, 3 out of 13. Okay. So, yeah, we won that battle also. Total plays, 69. Time of possession, 35 minutes and 48 seconds versus their 24 minutes and 12 seconds. So that is something good, I guess. And I got a couple takeaways. Because we're going to jump into the offense first, get the negativity out the way so we can dive right into how good the defense was. And, man, the defense was good. So, to the offense. I have some takeaways, and I'm not gonna be as negative as you think I am, because I watching this game and I was like, man, what's holding the Birds offense back? And in this game, we saw it right on the field. This was supposed to be a blowout game. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you know football, if you know the Eagles football, if you watch football, and you even just a casual fan could have told you, flags, missed opportunities, passes, passes dropped. You know, all of these things into a game. You're not converting in the red zone. You're not scoring in the red zone. You're not converting on third downs. You're getting behind the sticks. All of that type of stuff will either get you beat or have you looking lackluster the way that the Birds offense did tonight. And they were lackluster. But my whole takeaway from it was, if you take away some of these penalties, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, because I don't like to speak in what ifs and if you and if. I'm just hypothetically speaking. Take away some of these penalties, drop passes and penalties. I don't want to hear anything about the play calling tonight. I don't want to see not one comment. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If I see anything about play calling, I'm going to lose my mind, because I've been agreeing with y'all about the play calling. But lately, the execution has been, almost cursed. It has been bad. The execution from this team has been bad. Drop passes, that's execution. Missing blocks, that's execution. And all of these things, like I said, mixed into one, has the Birds looking so lackluster. If you take away just some of those little things, we could have blown out the Lions tonight. This game was supposed to be like 35-9, if you ask me. I'm just being honest. Knowing my team, we left so much money on the table, like Jalen Hurts, as Jalen Hurts like to say. We left a lot of money on the table. And I'm going to just be honest. I think this is the offense moving forward for this season. You know, and if the Birds win another Super Bowl, if the Birds get to another Super Bowl, well, let me rephrase that. If the Birds win another Super Bowl, I don't think we're getting rid of Kevin Patullo. I think we're going to enter another season with Kevin Patullo. Did you guys see that it was like a stat? Basically, it was showing all of Jalen Hurts' play callers since Alabama. And you know he switched colleges while he was in college. He ended up transferring colleges. So from Alabama to Oklahoma to the Birds, to the Eagles, he's had 10 total play callers. That's offensive coordinators and play callers in college. Lane Kiffin, all of these guys, he's had multiple play callers. So I think because the numbers are horrible. If you look at the numbers, that's the reason to fire Kevin Patullo. But the results could keep him as an offensive coordinator. I'm sorry to say it, but just think about it. The results that he puts out on the field, although the results throughout, in the midst of the results, it looks bad. It's like your eyes bleed watching it. He still gets dubs. Most of that is due to the defense, of course, duh. But, I mean, he gets the dubs. Now, I do think a second year with this offense, Kevin Patullo will get it right. I do believe that. Like, I can look at you in your eyes and tell you, I do believe that a second year with this offense, I think Kevin Patullo will be all right. But as a first-time play caller, oh my God, it's just bad. But anyway, like I said, I had some more takeaways about this game. And going into this game, what was the number one topic, Birds fans, NFL fans, football fans? What was the number one topic going into this game? If you were following anything with the Eagles, if you were watching ESPN, you knew what the topics were. If you are a Birds fan, you knew what the topic were. The topic was surrounding this team, A.J. Brown. And I'm not going to dog A.J. because what he said still stands. I still agree because the offense is still playing that way. The team is still relying on the defense and putting a Band-Aid over everything and saying the defense. That still holds true. But A.J. has to stop giving up on certain routes. A.J. has to stop giving up on certain routes. And it's not just like him giving up on certain routes. man, we just have to get him involved. Like, him giving up on routes, body language on the field, and just a lot of other things in between. Is with the play calling, everything is just horrible. We have to find a way to get him involved. I'm not a play caller. I'm not an offensive coordinator, so I really, at this point, can't tell you. I know A.J. Brown has about 3 route concepts that the Birds really use him in, and it's been successful for the last 3 to 4 years. And what are those route concepts? It's a slant, it's a go ball, and like maybe a post. Or a deep ball downfield. You know, deep balls downfield are AJ's. That's his thing. You know, we've been using them, mixing him up this year and mixing him around this year. But it's go balls, a post, or a slant. You know, those are that's basically AJ Brown's routes. And man, he just hasn't been getting it this year. And you don't want to force it, as my Uber Eats goes off. You don't want to force it, right? You don't want to force the ball to AJ. You want to get him involved from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. You want it to flow. You want it to be like, you know, throughout the game, he gets his targets, he gets his yards, he gets his receptions. You don't want to force it, because once you force it, you start to make mistakes, interceptions. You guys know what happens when you force the ball. I mean, watching football for a year, you will understand that, oh, he's forcing the ball to him. Something's bad going to happen. So you don't want to force the ball to AJ. You don't have to, right? And I'm starting to understand, like, these defenses are playing a little bit more, are playing better coverage on AJ. They are. And I've seen these stupid comments like he's losing a step, he can't get separation. When has AJ Brown ever got separation? Like, that's what I'm saying. Birds fans, you have to cancel out the stupid noise, like the people who's probably just now becoming Birds fans or just speaking hyperbolically. Like, think about it. AJ has never got separation. He's a 50-50 ball guy, you know, bully ball guy. That's my favorite term. I love to put that term on him because that's what he is. 50-50 ball, bully ball. He's a radius catcher, as Michael Irvin likes to say. And that's what he is. You put it in his radius, he's going to catch the ball. And that's what we need to start doing. And figuring out a way to beat these coverages. Like I said, I'm not an offensive coordinator, so I don't know. They hire offensive coordinators to figure that out, though. Kevin Patullo. So you need to figure it out. And here's another week of us saying this once again. 3rd win in a row. Great. No, 4th win in a row. Sorry. Great. But here I am once again speaking about a win, but kudos goes mostly to, thank you, Jake Elliott, in the defense. So, I don't know, man. I'm wearing my Jalen Hurts jersey, so I'm going to always support and be optimistic of the team. But to be honest, I got to be honest. This is the offense moving forward. You know, there might be some games where we win by 2 touchdowns or 10 points. Or there might be some games where, just like this, we win by a touchdown, maybe 2. It could have been a 2-score game. Nick Sirianni calls a stupid timeout when it's like 4th and 17. Let them go for it and don't get it so we can get better field position. We call it timeout for what? It's like 2 minutes and like 5 seconds left. Let them run out. Let them run that, you know? They're probably going to throw the ball away quick because Jared Goff can't get off of the pressure. There's pressure in his face all night long. There was pressure in his face all night long. So he was going to throw the ball quick. That was going to be those quick 5 seconds. Let that go. There would have been a 2-minute warning. You don't need a timeout. But we did anyways, and they made a decision to change their mind and kick a field goal. I don't understand. I just don't understand that sometimes. Sometimes I just don't understand Nick Sirianni's logic. But anyway, we won the game. Not going to dwell on that. And we got the Cry Girls next. And you know how I get when it's the Cry Girls week. When it's Cry Girl week, it's Kelly Green week. So we got Cry Girl Kelly Green week. Man, we got to do something special for this week. This is going to be awesome. Now, the defense that showed up tonight, is going to have to show up once again because this Cowgirls offense knows how to score. We're going to get into all of that next week. Right now, we're going to enjoy this win against the Lions. Now, the Eagles' defense, on the other hand, man, the defensive line was at a batting range, right? It was lining up, swinging that thing, because every pass that Jared Goff attempted was batted down. I'm talking about to the ground, and I wish one of those batted down passes could have turned into an interception because Jalen Carter he'd got 2 batted down passes, and one of them looked like if he just could have, man, that would have been a great interception, and that would have been great field position because he was on like the 5-yard line or maybe the 10. Man, defense. And then I said Jalen Carter, he batted down 2 passes, and Jordan Davis batted down 3. That was even crazier. And one of his first batted down passes was the interception, the tip pass that caused Cooper DeJean to get his interception. Yes, Cooper DeJean got an interception. The defense was everywhere. I'm talking about, Dan Campbell, like I told you, he was going to want to want to go on 4th downs over and over and over. That's a 4-down team, like I told you. And he did. He tested the birds at least. Oh my God, he tested the birds over and over. He tested the birds so many times, and we held strong every time. I remember looking at the stat one time, and they was getting ready to line up on 4th down again, and it was like 0 for 5. It was so weak. This defensive performance is getting better about a week. Last week I said, man, this is probably the best defensive performance we've seen from the Birds defense. Like, in my mind, I was like, man, we probably won't see a defensive performance like that again. They got lucky. I was hearing so much about the receivers that I don't want to hear that now. I'm on St. Brown. We shut it down. In the running backs, they got theirs. Jahmyr Gibbs he was one of their leading rushers, if I'm correct. In yards, I think in receiving also, if I'm correct. I have to look at the numbers, but man, talk about a great defensive performance. We held Jared Goff. The defense held Jared Goff to 37.8, a 37.8 completion percentage, and a 68.3 passer rating. Talk about great defensive performance. I mean, I said this in my last episode, and in the episode before that, I said, we have to get the Goff. We have to get the Goff. And like I said before, it's similar to what Al Davis said. You got to hit the quarterback early, and you got to hit him hard. And we did that. And from the beginning of the game, Jared Goff was flustered. He was all over the place. He didn't know where to go, high or low. And he was throwing it. He had some open receivers on some screen passes out of the backfield, and they made their way. They cut their teeth with that. And some of the passes downfield, he got a Dory Jackson on a deep ball downfield. It happens. It happens. You're not going to be able to shut them down on every single drive. And what was most impressive about this defense is how bad that the offense is. Because the fact that you can tell me, okay, you stop this offense, you can go rest, but you can only rest for 7 minutes maybe, and then you're right back on the field. And every time, because I was paying attention to this, I was looking at the body language of the defense, the defensive line, the secondary, the linebackers. Like, how were they feeling? And every single time they took the field, I'm talking about from the beginning to the end, they were pumped on the field. They were ready to go. I was like, these guys are hungry. Like, we have a defense full of dogs, man. Kelee Ringo made plays on the special teams. Like, if a defensive guy like Kelee Ringo can make a play on the defense, what's stopping the damn offense? Right? Like, we've seen so many good things, great things. This defense is playing at a high level. We've seen so many great things come out of this defense. The offense, at this point, if the offense can just match the defense 50-50, meet them 50-50, because you're not helping them, right? You're not helping them at all. You have to help your defense. If you don't, then they're going to keep taking the field, and there's only so many drives that they're going to be able to hold these teams. I'm surprised. I'm impressed. Like, I'm overly impressed. And if the Birds keep doing this, I've already started to put it in my notes and everything. Like, as I'm watching these games, this defense is in Super Bowl form. And if they keep playing like this, they can carry this team. I think so. You know, the playoffs are going to be a different beast. The offense is going to have to show up. I don't give a damn what we say. The offense is going to have to show up eventually. And I think they will, because like they're breaking the ice, man. They're getting there. And I can see it, but it's still boneheaded. And in the middle of watching these games, it's frustrating, because you can see it going good for the Birds, and it's always just that one thing. It's a holding call. It's a false start. It's a dumb call sometimes. Sometimes it is the referees, but we have to execute the plays, so that doesn't even, it doesn't even happen. We have to execute the plays. And I can actually say, other than a 2nd and 5 that we ran the ball on in the first quarter, Kevin Patullo called a good game. We didn't execute the plays better tonight. And if we would have executed at least 70, 80% of those plays, we would have won this game by 3 touchdowns, 4 maybe. We could have beat this team by like 28 points, 20 plus points, 25 plus. But we left so much, as Jalen Hurts like to say, money on the table, that, the score ended up what the score ended up being. And we have to do better. It's not going to be sustainable if we don't. So I wanted to make this a quick instant reaction video for you guys. We're going to be right back tomorrow or the day after. We're going to let this sink in, let you guys relax. Monday Night Football tomorrow, so let everyone relax and settle down with this Birds win. We're going to hear a lot of craziness tomorrow coming from everyone about this offense. Now, in Philly media, this offense is going to be everywhere. Don't let it piss you off. Don't let it rattle you. What I like to do after a good win, after an ugly win, after an ugly loss, sometimes I like to just tune out for at least one day. No Eagles anything for one day. But I'm going to be tuned in tomorrow. I have no other choice. Sometimes you got to, because it could drive you crazy. And when you're emotionally invested with the team like I am, yeah, you know how that can go. But anyway, we had a big win tonight, fellas. We had a big win tonight, guys. And I think the defense is in the Super Bowl form, and sky's the limit for this defense. Jalen Phillips. Before we leave, wait, I got to talk about Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips was everywhere. Pressures all over the place. Jalen Hunt, I told you already. Jalen Hunt, is going to be the beneficiary. He's going to benefit the most that Jalen Phillips is here. The fact that Jalen Phillips is here is going to be the biggest advantage for Jalen Hunt. It's going to free up so much, trust me, because now offensive lines have to figure out who to double team. Do we double team Jalen Carter anymore? Now we have Jalen Phillips right beside him. And then Jordan Davis coming in, Nolan Smith off the edge. It's a lot of pressure. And that was one of the reasons why we were able to win this game, because we got Jared Goff off his spot a lot. And that was thanks a lot to Jalen Phillips. Jalen Carter had a hell of a game also. We got to give everyone their props on that defensive line. Jordan Davis, like I said, three balls batted down, and one of them caused the interception to Cooper DeJean. That was, oh my God. And that's one more thing I'm going to get on before we leave. The defense is setting this Eagles team up in great field position. If teams want to decide to go for it on fourth down, we've seen it like 7 to 10 times a night. Decide, you can go for it on fourth down all you want. That's your right. But this team is good at getting you off the field. This isn't 2023 where you knew if the offense got the ball in the last couple of minutes in the game, that we probably would lose because the defense was just that bad. We couldn't get off the field on third downs. Even if it was third and long, it was just dreading. You was just like, please. So, no. I'm not even going there. This is a positive instant reaction video, instant reaction episode. We'll get a little bit more serious tomorrow. Trust me, because there's a lot that we have to get into. And I'm not going to be negative Nancy tonight because we had a big win. And these wins are piling up. Still number 1 seed in the NFC. And that is why this game was one of the biggest. The biggest. We have to beat the Cowgirls next week. And to be honest, once we beat the Bears, I feel much, much better. Of course, you win in your division. Duh. You beat the Cowgirls and you move on. But once we beat the NFC North, oh, man, I feel so much better. That's 3 teams down in the NFC North already. You have the Vikings, the Packers, and now the Bears. The Vikings, the Packers, and now the Lions. And the Bears are up next. So that's 4 teams in the NFC North that you'll be knocked out. In the tiebreaker with Green Bay, you don't have to worry about that because you've beaten all of the best teams in the NFC. And thank God that the Rams beat the Seahawks. Everything has been lining up just right for us. All we have to do is, it's like a Tesla. It's taking you where you need to go. And it's getting around that time to where it's time for you to take hold of the wheel. And it's kind of been past that time. It's time for you to take hold of the wheel, Philly. Offense, Jalen, AJ, Devontae, Goddard. Let's get everyone involved, man. Because when they are all involved, when this offense plays like a team, you know, if you're watching this as a fan or as a hater, you know what this team can do when we're all involving everyone. The running game is going, the passing game is electric. You know what this team can look like, and we do too. So get it together. Anyway, catch you guys tomorrow, man. This has been so fun. We'll do everything else tomorrow. As always, you know the routine. Like, share, comment. Thanks for watching all the time. Go Birds. As always, be blessed and go Birds.